All right, today we're reacting to a Janis Joplin documentary because a lot of you guys were getting on my butt for not knowing anything about Janis Joplin when I listened to the song. Of course, I'm not going to know it off of first reaction. So today we're going to watch this little documentary about her, get more familiar with her, and then go listen to maybe a full album or more of her music. This documentary is called The Tortured Life of Janis Joplin. I don't know if you'd call it a doc, but it's just a little YouTube video, 10-minute video. Let's check it out.
It's a
So we
sad fact of
understand the
life,
lore.
but tragedy often inspires great art. There's some mysterious...
Already, pause. Let me pause it. That is very true. If you've noticed any good song, any good artist, every good piece of art comes usually from a place of darkness, or even if it's inspired by something happy, usually that artist started doing art because they were in a dark
that
place.
comes with
usually.
heartbreak, despair, and disappointment. Janis Joplin knew this all too well. While the singer experienced more than her share of all three emotions in her short lifetime, she left us with a collection of music that still makes people's hearts ache.
We gotta listen to Half Moon.
Today, we're exploring some of the more fascinating stories that shaped the tortured life of Janis Joplin.
Furs for Southern Comfort.
There are a few visual accoutrements that are immediately
What does that mean?
associated with Janis. Her 1964 Porsche 356 with its
Ooh.
custom psychedelic paint job, her oversized round
Wait, I was gonna
rose-tinted
pause that.
sunglasses, and of course, the ever-present bottle of Southern Comfort whiskey. She'd take a fifth of Southern...
Wait, we gotta do Gumball 3000 in Janis's car. In this little car right here. If y'all don't know what
There
Gumball
are a few
3000 is,
visual accoutrements that are immediately associated...
it's a car rally where you go from New York to LA in one go, and people do a lot of different challenges, like doing Gumball 3000, who can do it the fastest on a motorcycle and a truck, things like that. You got to get that car or get a car designed like that and do the whole Gumball 3000 while listening to Janis Joplin in that car. That'd be fun.
Janis. Her 1964
Fun little video.
Porsche 356 with its custom psychedelic
Like
paint
candy
job,
on it.
her
It looks like a
oversized
gingerbread
round
house.
rose-tinted sunglasses, and of course, the ever-present bottle of Southern Comfort whiskey. She'd take a fifth of
So she
Southern
did a lot of
Comfort
drugs,
with her on
right?
stage and take slugs straight out of the bottle in between songs, as if she was drinking from a water bottle. In 1970, when Rolling Stone writer David Dalton was following her around for a cover story, he listed the following items found in her oversized purse: an antique cigarette holder, several motel and hotel room keys, tapes of Johnny Cash and Otis Redding, and the requisite bottle of Southern Comfort, which he noted was empty. She was obsessed with the drink. It relaxed her and loosened her up when she'd dig deep down to reach the pain and suffering of the blues. For whatever reason, the New Orleans-based whiskey company appreciated her love for their product and extended a gift of thanks for her patronage.
Sponsored
and,
her?
let's be honest, the free publicity. As the story goes, the Southern Comfort folks sent her a full-length lynx fur coat and matching hat for her support. Of course, today, animal activists and social justice warriors would be up in arms over a high-profile celebrity wearing fur. But this was the late 60s, so it was cool, man.
So she got sponsored by a whiskey company because she was always drinking whiskey. And the reason I said, like, if she does drugs, it's because I just saw an interview with her. I was looking for a video to watch. In the interview, she just looked like she was tweaking out a little bit, man. Just her mannerisms and the way she sounded and the way she was talking. I don't know, but I know she smokes.
Maybe she sensed something, but
cigarettes.
Joplin mysteriously made adjustments to her will just 2 days before her death on October 4th, 1970. She mostly gave her estate to her parents, with some additional wealth going to each of her siblings. But what's unusual is that she had $2,500 put aside for her friends to throw a party in her honor. The stipulation allowed 200 people to hold an all-night gathering at her favorite pub, so my friends can get blasted after I'm gone.
$2,500 is not enough to throw a party today. With $2,500 in 2026, what party in 200 guests, you're all sharing the same bottle of Four Loko. Like, you're all sharing a can of Four Loko. Like, you know what I mean? There's going to be 4 groups sharing a Four Loko. $2,500 is not enough to throw a party for 200 people in 2026. You could probably figure it out and have, like, a chill little party at the park and do something like that, but, like, an actual party.
You think Jim
2,500
Morrison
is not covering
allegedly
the alcohol.
wagging his little Jim in front of a Florida
even covering the
audience was a
alcohol.
non-event that could only
Or the
happen
venue.
during the conservative 60s? Think again. Janis Joplin did less, and it earned her a night in jail. As we all know by now, Jim Morrison was arrested for allegedly exposing himself at a March 2nd concert in Miami, Florida.
I don't know who
and
that is.
became the object of 6 arrest warrants, including one for a felony charge of lewd and lascivious behavior in public by
Why are we
exposing
talking
his
about it? Who
private
is
parts
this?
and simulating masturbation and oral copulation. That's all it took for the ultra-conservative people of
Wait, so homie was like low-key just going up to girls and being like, hey, baby, dome me up. Like, was he just doing stuff like
Florida
that?
to become
Wasn't that
concerned.
also more normal, though, back then?
when Joplin came into
Not to say it was
town later
okay,
that
but-
year for a gig at the Curtis Hickson Hall. As Joplin was performing for the rowdy Floridians, someone made the decision to turn the house lights on to calm the rambunctious crowd. As the auditorium was filled with lights, a few police officers climbed onto the stage and asked Joplin to help them quiet the crowd. She refused and instead screamed obscenities at the cops. Eventually, the crowd quieted enough so that the show could continue and Joplin was allowed to finish, unlike Morrison, who was arrested in the middle of his gig. But Joplin
he
was
was doing
later
it at the
arrested
concert.
in her dressing room and spent the night in jail. The charges were eventually dropped when a judge felt she was simply exercising her freedom of speech.
I hate when people get arrested for, like, cursing out cops. That makes me so mad. Or, like,
Joplin
flipping off a
once
cop
said of her
and the cop
lifestyle,
looks like,
I
"Excuse me,
live
need
pretty
your
loose,
license."
you know, balling with strangers and stuff. Although she was very open about who she hooked up with, she often suffered emotionally if she felt that one of her lovers was letting her down. That said, Joplin ran into musician Leonard Cohen in the Chelsea Hotel elevator in 1968, culminating in the two spending the night together.
How do people
The
know all
affair
these
was
details?
short-lived, however, and for Joplin, it
They met in the elevator at exactly 9 p.m. and the conversation started off with this. It's like,
apparently ended
you
in
don't
heartbreak.
know all that.
Cohen wrote about the encounter in his classic song Chelsea Hotel No. 2, but didn't admit it was
Ooh.
about Joplin until years after she had died. This is how Cohen recalled the night. My lungs gathered my courage. I said to her, "Are you looking for someone?" She said, "Yes, I'm looking for Chris Christopherson." The lithe, debonair Cohen had never been mistaken for the large, gruff Christopherson, but he took a shot anyway. I said, "Little lady, you're in luck. I am Chris Christopherson." She wasn't looking for me. She was looking for Chris Christopherson. I wasn't looking for her. I was looking for Bridget Bardot. But we
Ooh,
fell into
little
each other's
bimbo.
arms through some process of elimination.
This is what someone in my comments said, that they left this. They're like, she's a member of the 27 Club. I don't know what that means. In rap, I've heard it's like 25 Club, 26 Club. I'm assuming it means like you died before the age of 27, right? But then I've seen pictures and videos of Janis, and bro, she looks and sounds like a 50-year-old woman. Okay, this woman was not 27. Let's see.
It's become
But-
something of a rock and roll cliché now.
Yeah, see, it's in rap, it's in hip hop too, like the 27 Club, Mac Miller, Juice World, and everybody talks about
But
it.
yes, the 27
Tupac,
Club
I
is
think? I don't know,
real,
I
and
could be wrong.
sadly, Janis Joplin is a founding member.
Yeah. it
After a
is.
doctor told the singer she'd never reach the age of 24 if she kept on smoking, drugging, and drinking her Southern Comfort, Joplin was hard-pressed to prove him wrong. While Joplin's primary vice was the aforementioned Southern Comfort, she did develop a devastating addiction to heroin in the mid-1960s.
Okay, I told you. I knew I wasn't tripping. Okay, I saw those interviews with her. She was twacked. Definitely a tweaker.
Her usage steadily worsened, and by 1969, she was allegedly using approximately $200 worth of heroin every day. That's
That a
about
lot?
$700 a day if you account for inflation. After her friends intervened, she managed to quit the habit, only to
Damn.
relapse later. On October 4th, 1970, she was scheduled to record vocals for a track called Buried Alive in the Blues, a song that was slated to appear on her upcoming solo album, Pearl. When she never arrived at the recording studio, she was eventually found deceased in her hotel room from an apparent overdose. Joplin's death at the age of 27 made her a member of the 27 Club, a list comprised of other artists who passed away at the same age,
Only one I
including Jim
recognize on that
Morrison,
wall is Kurt
Jimi
Cobain.
Hendrix, who died only 16 days after Joplin, Kurt Cobain, and Amy Winehouse.
We have to listen to all of them, by the way. I want to listen to Amy and Jimi Hendrix.
As a child, Joplin was bullied for her appearance and different behavior, and this abuse continued
I feel like
all the
every
way
girl
through
looked like that,
college.
though, in that day.
In addition to weight and acne problems from her youth, she struggled with self-esteem issues for her entire life. A good, albeit upsetting, example of this took place when she was attending the University of Texas at Austin in 1962. During her first and only year at U of T,
Wait. Hold on. So she was in college in 1962, but she died in 1969?
Joplin
Or that's when
was
she started
voted
doing heroin.
ugliest man. on
Didn't he just say she died in 1969 and she was in college in 1962?
campus.
So within 7 years, she did that. Her whole rock and roll career took off. And
The
wow,
school's fraternities, a label that bothered her for the rest of her life. If that nomination and win wasn't what made her drop out of college, it certainly had to be a major contributing factor. She soon left school and her beloved home state of
Ugliest
Texas
girl.
for San Francisco. She later said she left Texas for San Francisco to escape the angry men who liked to pick on her.
I don't know any of these people.
If Joplin learned one thing from her early years of being kicked around by men, it's that she didn't take crap from them later on when she found fame and confidence. A prime example of this was when she met Jim Morrison for the
That guy looks
first time.
familiar on the left.
The meeting took place at music producer Paul Rothchild's house, a hugely successful music producer who was friends with
Rothschild.
Jim and Janis. Rothschild knew Joplin had a thing for Morrison, and he thought the two of them meeting was inevitable, so he took
cool
it upon
last name.
himself to make it happen.
Child of
Rothschild told Blair Jackson in a BAM magazine interview, "I thought, here's the king and queen of rock and roll. They should meet. So I got them together at a party in Hidden Hills. They both showed up sober and are getting along great. Jim is
Did he party?
fascinated by this remarkable girl, and of course, Jim was also a fascinating guy. And really good looking. Janis loved to
Janis loved to fuck. Okay, hold on. I paused on the wrong time. I was about to say this guy sounds like Diddy. Janis might have enjoyed that. It
That was
sounds
her
like.
single greatest pastime. She saw this hunk of meat and said, I want that. The way the story goes, Morrison and Joplin got
Yeah.
on famously at first.
I guess when you're rich, famous, rock star, girl, everybody wants you. You're around these things, all drugged up. Like, yeah,
But as the night
Can't blame her.
progressed, Jim got wasted in true Morrison fashion, while Janis took measured swigs from a bottle of Southern Comfort, maintaining a regal air of drunken charisma. Morrison became rude, violent, and what Rothschild described as a cretin and a disgusting drunk, sloppily trying to seduce Joplin. Joplin had enough of Morrison and the party, so she decided they should leave. As Joplin and Rothschild made their way to her car, Morrison ran out of the house and made one more attempt to close the deal. Morrison then reached into Joplin's car, grabbed a chunk of her hair, and tried to pull her out, caveman style. With her hair in Morrison's grubby fist, Janis swung a bottle of Southern Comfort and hit him over the head with it, shattering glass everywhere and knocking the Lizard King out cold.
Lizard King, Danny Mullen. None of you guys watching this video are gonna get that reference. No Janis Joplin fan is gonna get the Lizard King, Danny Mullen reference.
Although she spent a number of her formative years playing jangly folk music, blues is what Joplin was most interested in and what
Jangly
made her
folk? That
famous.
sounds
I want to be the
disrespectful.
first black, white person, she once said. While she loved Billie Holiday and considered the blues legend a hero, Joplin adored Bessie Smith. She claimed Smith was her
Okay, so listen, in one of my first Janis reactions, I was talking about how I feel like a lot of her fans are black, and what I was like, and when I was listening to her music, I was like, wow, there's a lot of like soul in here. Like it sounds, I was like, I don't want to be racist, but it sounds like black soul blues kind of music, right? And now okay, it makes sense.
an
I'm not racist,
inspiration,
guys.
and that she felt such a connection to Smith that she
She was
even
inspired
believed she
by it.
might be her reincarnation. When Joplin learned that Smith's family in 1937 had buried her in
Soul.
an unmarked
Soul
grave,
music.
she became so angered she split the cost for a tombstone with one of Smith's employees. So on August 7th, 1970,
Ew,
Bessie
that's
Smith
creepy.
finally got her tombstone, thanks to Joplin and Juanita Green, who as a child had done housework for Smith. The stone's epitaph now reads,
greatest blues
"The greatest
singer in the
blues
world.
singer in the world will
Bessie
never
Smith.
stop singing." Joplin knew
gotta
pain,
listen to Bessie
suffering,
Smith.
and the feeling of being an outcast. It's no surprise that she was sensitive to those feelings.
Because our whole thing on this channel is like inspiration, and the reason we listen to Janis because Gene Dawson was inspired by Janis, and his music kind of sounds like her. So now we got to listen to Bessie Smith.
In other people as well.
She inspired Janis.
While Joplin
Don't listen
wasn't
to who inspired
perfect,
Bessie.
she never hurt anyone except herself due to her substance abuse. She always stuck up for people on the bottom of the totem pole. When Janis's 10th grade social studies class in her racially segregated high school discussed racial integration, her strong support of integration provoked a social backlash from several classmates who swarmed around her, calling her an N-lover as she walked to the next class. "They laughed me out of class, out of town, out of the state," she said after moving to California. But as insecure as she was, as we'd later find out, she was able to find strength to stick to her guns and stand up for what she thought was just. Did social ostracization contribute to her early death? It's impossible to know what caused her to lose herself in the vices that contributed to the end of her life. But if Janis Joplin's formative years
Bro,
weren't
she looks
filled
so
with so
old.
much
It's not
anguish,
27.
there's a chance she'd be alive today. So what do you think?
I think that maybe does give a slightly better appreciation for the music. I thought it was going to go more into detail. I feel like a lot of those details were a little, you could have heard through the music, you know? I thought it was going to be a little more specific, but I guess that was interesting. Yeah, we watched that, so now I want to listen to more of her music and maybe do a full album reaction. And maybe we'll have a little bit more of a deeper appreciation for it. Maybe we'll understand it more now that we know these details. It's giving Death Grips her story, okay? Like, just messed up in the head and, like, kind of tragic.